Hello, my dear learners, wherever you are. This is Mr. Joseph Otenge Baraza from Commerce Primary, found in Kilifi County. I'm here to take you through science in this lesson, whereby we are going to cover an area known as soil. I believe everyone knows soil. This one is a content that we are going to cover. It is from class 4 to class 8. When you talk about from class 4 to class 8, somebody else can ask him about why am I saying class 4 to class 8? Before the introduction of the new curriculum, that is the CBC, soil was also taught in class 4. But for now, because we are dealing with I am dealing only with the 844 system learners, the only learners that will benefit from this content, especially are from class 6, 7, 8. But to take you back, when you were in class 4, soil was named as in 3. 1, we had a type of soil which is known as clay. Apart from that one, we have also sandy soil, and also we have loam soil, whereby we say that loam soil is the best type of soil in farming, and sandy soil is also used in construction or building the houses. And now for the clay, if it is the use, we can also use it in modeling. That's whereby when you also be looking in the solar system, we are going to say that we use clay soil. If clay soil is not there, we use a plasticine. I want to take you through soil, but especially the content that we are going to cover in this soil is fertilizers. By the end of this lesson, I would like to tell you that you'll be able to define the term fertilizers, and I also expect the learner to group fertilizers in different categories. And apart from that one, you will also be able to describe how some of these fertilizers are being made or prepared. Now, fertilizers, these are just organic or inorganic substances that are used to improve soil fertility. When you talk about soil fertility is the ability of the soil to provide plants with nutrients. We have said that we have a type of soil known as loam soil. And loam soil is the type of the soil which is best in farming. So for our crops to do well, we are supposed to have a soil which is high in nutrients or in fertility. So we also expect that we have to use some organic or inorganic substances in order to enhance soil fertility. That's whereby I've told that fertilizers, these are organic or inorganic substances that are used to improve soil fertility. They are grouped into 2 groups mainly. We have the natural and we have the artificial. When we talk about natural and artificial, this is just self-explanatory. Artificial refer to as chemical ones. I hope we are at par up to that point. Now, this fertile soil supply most of the nutrients. Others come from just air or water. And I'm saying fertile soil supply most of the nutrients, and these other nutrients, they can come from the air or water. And now when you talk about these fertilizers, remember plants need nutrients as just human beings do require some nutrients. Like for the human being requires different types of nutrients. We have calcium is there. We have some carbohydrates. We have proteins, and we have some nutrients, we can say even vitamins. But now for the plants nutrients are divided into two. We have the macronutrients and we have the micronutrients, as the way I've just pronounced. Macro means major, while micro means minor. When you talk about macro or major nutrients which are required by plants, from as it sounds, major. These are the type of the nutrients that plants require in large quantities. So we say that we have this micro or minor. These are the type of the nutrients that plants require in less quantity but must be present. It must be present. Underline the word must be present. That's what we can say. Despite of being minor, it must be present. And as I've told you that nutrients are required by plants as just the human beings require nutrients. Remember, human beings are living things and even plants are living things. So one of the example of the macronutrients that we have the hydrogen, we have the carbon dioxide, we have the oxygen, we have sulfur, we have very many, but I've just mentioned few of them. We also have micro ones. Micro ones are the ones that are required in less quantity. And when you talk about the micro ones now, this is now just like the zinc, we have the cobalt, we have the manganese. We can mention, but I've just mentioned the few. You will add some of them. And once again, I told you that these nutrients can be obtained either in air or water. As you can see, the composition of air, or when you ask somebody what's an air, air is just a mixture of gases. So we have mentioned about oxygen, we have mentioned about hydrogen, like the nutrients that plants obtain from air. When you talk about oxygen, it can be obtained from air, can also be obtained from water. So if you see these examples, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, oxygen, are the constituents of air. They are found in air. But when you come to hydrogen is obtained now from the water. Hydrogen is obtained from water. I hope and I believe that I've clarified my point when I say that these nutrients can be obtained from water or can be obtained from air. And I've specified for you the nutrients that are obtained from air and some of the nutrients that are obtained in water. The nutrient that is being obtained in water, as I repeat myself, it is hydrogen. But for the one which is being obtained from the air, we have nitrogen, we have oxygen, and we have the carbon dioxide. Now, we see that these are just nutrients, but these nutrients are from fertilizers. Because we have said fertilizers, these are organic or inorganic substances that are used to improve soil fertility, and they are grouped into two. Mainly we have natural, we have artificial. Artificial, I say that artificial, these are chemical ones, while natural one, these are just organic one, the one that we can use in our local available resources in our locality, so long as they decompose. Like here now, we are going to discuss about manures. These are now an example of natural fertilizers. these organic manures are the one which we can refer them as the natural fertilizers. We can get them from the locality. And remember, these manures are the one that they can decompose. We are going to learn on how to prepare them. We are going to specify which type do we have in these manures, which one, and how can we prepare them. Manures are added to the soil to provide plants with the nutrients. As we said, that soil fertility is the ability of the soil to provide plants with the nutrients. So when we add this organic manure to the soil, they will enhance, they will increase, they will improve soil with nutrients. Remember, plants need nutrients as the human beings do. So, without wasting time, we have discussed the types of manures. I remember, you know them, but as just a point of reminder, types of manures that we have the green manure, we have the farmyard manure, and we also have the compost manure. As we can begin from the green manure, as the word green, it means these are the type of manure which is being prepared from green plants. And not all green plants. Not all green plants, learners. We shall learn which type of plants are we able to use to prepare this type of manure called green manure. And straight away, we would like to look the types of the plants and examples of these plants that we can use to prepare green manure. Now, the type of the plants, and we have to just specify the main type of plants that we use to prepare green manure is leguminous plant. Leguminous plants, I believe you know example of leguminous plants. These are the nuts family. We have, when we talk about the nuts family, we have the groundnuts, we have the cashew nuts, we have the lucerne. We can name them. They remain. But the one I've just highlighted, there are very few. That is the main one, and we are going to see why do we take leguminous as the main type of crop that we can prepare green plants. It has its own special reasons. One of the reasons, these leguminous plants, they are highly nutritious and they grow very fast. They decompose very fast. Apart from that one also, they are very leafy. They are very leafy. When we talk about very leafy, they are vegetative. It means that they have a lot of leaves. And when we maybe say that we maybe remove them and we leave it, they take shorter time to decompose. When you talk about decomposing, they take shorter time to rot. That's why we are preferring this type of crops or this type of plants. Leguminous plants are the main and are the major ones, and are the ones which it is being preferred in the preparation of green manure. And this green manure, there are some conditions. There's a certain stage that this plant that we are using in the preparation of this manure, there's a certain stage that we are supposed to harvest it. And it's not a matter of harvesting. It's whereby we plant these crops. After planting them, we come and plow again down. And before we plow, there's a stage. We are supposed to plow these plants before the flowering stage. So before the flowering stage, the farmer, after planting these crops, like you plant groundnuts, before the flowering stage you come again and plow. After plowing it, then you leave it to decompose. When you leave it to decompose, then after a shorter time, you come now again and re-plow, so that now we can now plant our main crop in that seedbed. Then after that one, allow me to proceed to discuss about now the compost manure. I hope you have known the type of the crop which is being preferred in preparation of this manure. As I told you that it is leguminous plants, and I have also named for you the example of the leguminous plants, and also have given you the properties, the aesthetics. When you talk about the aesthetics, just the characteristics of the crop that can be grown for the green manure. Must be very leafy, as I repeat. Note down that this type of crop must be very leafy. If you don't want to use the term leafy, you can use that this crop must be very vegetative. It must be very vegetative. Apart from that one, another property of this crop, another characteristic of the crop that can be used in the preparation of this manure, should be able to grow very fast. At the end, you are going to agree with me that that's why we are preferring the leguminous plants. Number 3, they should be able to decay. When you talk about decay, they should be able to rot quickly. If you don't want to use to rot quickly, the word to rot quickly, you can use it should be able to decompose very, very, very fast. Apart from that one, the crop should contain high amount of nitrogen. That's why most of the leguminous plants, they have nitrogen, because they're the only plants that they can use nitrogen, because they have a special structure in their roots. They are called root nodules. They are the only type of the crops, they are the only plants that can fix nitrogen. They can use nitrogen in form of nitrates. For so, as a condition that for the crop to be used in a green manure, it must have high content of nitrogen, and that's only the leguminous plants. There's a point you have to note before I take you next to another type of the manure, that after plowing in the green crops, decomposition must be allowed to take place. You should not just plow today, then tomorrow you start planting the main crop in the seedbed. Then you have not even allowed the crop that you have used to make the green manure to decompose, and we're just planting. So what I'm saying, after plowing these green crops that I've said, we must plow before the flowering stage. Anybody will ask me, why do we plow before the flowering stage? I'll ask you that. Can you go through and search why? Why do we plow these crops before flowering stage? For those one who are with me live, even tomorrow we have our next lesson at 2 p.m. You will be able just to text it. Why do we plow these crops before the flowering stage? And the decomposition of these crops takes place about 2 weeks. That's why I'm saying, after plowing now these green crops, you can allow it to decompose for 2 weeks. After allowing it, then the 3rd week, the 4th week, you can now start now. You come and reapply. After reapplying now, you can now start the planting. And now, that one has been about grain manure. May you allow me to discuss with you about farmyard manure. Farmyard manure is the second type of the manure that we are now discussing. Farmyard manure is also referred to as animal manure. Animal manure. From the word animal manure, and we have the word farm, yard. Like when someone can ask that, farmyard manure, just as the name suggests. Farmyard manure, from the word farm and yard. We have, when we go in another celebrations, we normally have a parking yard where now is as a place where we put our cars, we put our motorcycles, we put our bicycles. That's a yard. So when you also refer it as a farm yard, where these are a place, a yard, farm yard is where a place where we put our animals. They stay there, they rest there. They can even maybe be like a sleeping area for them. So farmyard manure is also referred to as animal manure. This is a type of the manure which is made from the animal waste, such as urine, dung, poultry droppings, and also animal beddings. I'm repeating again, I'm saying farmyard manure, this is the type of manure which is made from animal waste, such as urine, dung, poultry droppings, and also animal beddings. So in short, we can just say farmyard manure, this is a type of manure which is made from animal dung and animal beddings. We can say this is a type of manure which is made from animal waste and animal bedding. It means we have the waste alone and also we have the animal bedding. So when we put them together, when we mix these beddings and the waste, we mix them together, we shall learn on how to prepare. But when we mix them together, then we shall come up with what we call farmyard manure. So when we talk about that one, apart from the bedding, somebody will ask me the bedding. I have to tell you that we have the example of the beddings that we use in the preparation of this manure, this farmyard manure. We have the sawdust. Sawdust can be a type of the bedding that we can use. We can use even dry grass as a bedding for our animals. We can use our wood shavings as also a bedding for our animals. So when we use these ones, and as they lay in their beddings, these animals, remember, they are living things. They have to excrete. As they will excrete, as they remove the waste, like the droppings, these droppings the farmer will come and collect. Remember, the bedding also will be needed to exchange, be replacing at times, as just as human beings do. You cannot just have your beddings like for the baby will rest there. Even these animals, they rest there. They also do their droppings there. So the beddings will be changed. So after removing the old beddings, this is the old bedding now we take and we also collect them together with the waste of the animals. So these manures are good source of plant nutrients. These manures are the good source of plant nutrients. When you say like that, it means they add organic matter to the soil. Remember, we have talked about the beddings. And remember, when we add the organic matter to the soil, we are improving soil fertility. At the same time, we are improving the soil structure. So, I'm telling you, the learner, wherever you are, that this type of the manure, they add organic matter to the soil. And when it adds organic matter to the soil, it improves soil fertility. Here, the only reasons or the aim that we use for the